Now we're going to cover kind of like lifestyle things like sleeping, our different treatments besides just medication, living alone, and also like alcohol and weed and like other drugs that people might use. Um, which alcohol is a drug, and it's the one drug that people have to, defend not using, and I am one of those people. So
And
let's start with that one.
I don't drink at all. I haven't had a drink since I was 21 because I was a stubborn asshole and went to Las Vegas for my 21st birthday and said, I don't care if I have epilepsy, I'm gonna get wasted. Got wasted and had multiple seizures in the middle of the casino floor. Stumbled back to my room, had continued to have seizures in my bed, and woke up covered in pee. So my 21st birthday sucked because I was an idiot.
I will say that I am like the biggest lightweight you probably will ever meet. Like I drink half a beer and I'm like, hey guys. Obviously depends on the alcohol content, but I have had my moments where at the same time I want to live my life and
Hmm.
I have times where I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go have drinks, and almost every time I do that, I end up maybe not having a seizure that night or that day, but within the next couple days. Um,
Yeah.
like I recently went out with my friend, and luckily she stopped me after 3 drinks because I was like, "This is great!" Like drunk me was like, "This is amazing! I love life!" And then she was like, "I'm stopping you," and I texted her to thank her the next day. I was
Yeah.
like, "I already had 2 seizures, so thank you."
Yeah. And uh derp, seizure brain. Tobacco. That's another one that people defend. I can smoke cigarettes. Okay, tobacco is a stimulant. I am going to leave it at that. Do y'all know what stimulants do to your body? If not, someone missed dare when they went to school. But as far as weed, I smoke weed. I love my weed. I live in California. It de-stresses me. It helps me. But am I going to say because I smoke weed, Grace should smoke weed? No. And if she wants to, cool, But if she doesn't, she has a seizure, that's her repercussion she has to sow. You know what I mean? So if I smoke too much weed and I have a seizure, that's my fault. But I know a lot of people are like, man, THC can cause seizures, blah, blah, blah. Well, THC can also stop seizures. So shut it. Okay? So it's
And
case by
then,
case.
but at the same time, everyone who's like, oh my God, CBD cures everything. Well, first of all, there is no cure for epilepsy, so it doesn't cure epilepsy. And second of all, again, I would say talk to your doctor because they know what's best for you. Like, for example, I've asked my doctor about CBD, and she said, because the meds you're on are doing a good job, she's like, I want to leave it there. She's like,
Yeah.
we can come back and look at it, your next appointment, or if you feel things are changing. But as of right now, let's leave things as they are because it's,
Not
going.
worth fucking with.
And she's the one who's smart, knows what she's talking about.
She's
So.
got the doctorate degree, and it's like I've been smoking weed since before I was got diagnosed with epilepsy. My mom's gonna love this, probably 15. um so sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
um it did not make me have seizures. It does not reduce my seizures, but it can. I know a lot of people are into the I want to try shrooms, I want to try LSD. Yeah, I mean it looks like a blast, but is it worth the hole in your brain? No. Watch Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, there you go. That's your LSD. Um, so that's about it. Or a lot of people, I guess, can say that they're upset that they can't party and go to concerts and stuff like that. But
Which I get to a point, but also at the same time, you have to do what's best for you. I mean, I can go to a party and not drink, those are options. I've
yeah,
gone to parties and not had anything to drink, and, as long as you're with people who understand and people who are fun,
yeah.
you obviously don't want to go out if you're the people you're going to be with are like, oh my
If
God, drink, 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 drink. Like,
yeah,
no.
if you yeah, tell little John, shots. But it's like if I go somewhere and I need to be drunk to enjoy your company, I probably shouldn't be hanging out with you.
Right.
Right. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like that's my only take on that. And I'm not denouncing you if you drink, and if you get offended, maybe you should think about how much you drink. That's all I'm gonna say. But that I'm not gonna judge your lifestyle. That's you. But the next one we get based as okay, I'll get to the words in a second. I can't think of them. No sleep. There we go. Okay.
This has been all night, everyone. It is fantastic. We are, having a
virtual sleepover.
Virtual sleepover. So what you said.
This is simply what it is.
It's 12:31 in Maryland. So,
mm-hmm.
Speaking of sleep,
yeah, no.
Sleep it is one of my biggest triggers.
Mine too.
If I get 7 hours and 59 minutes of sleep, I am probably going to have a seizure.
I sleep about 14 hours a day, whether that's consecutively or broken up. I'm pretty much part koala bear. So, yeah, that's my spirit animal, 100%. I sleep a lot. If anyone gives me crap for how much I sleep, they can go fuck themselves, because my brain is fighting off having a seizure 24/7. My meds make me exhausted. The anxiety and the depression that comes with it are exhausting. The fact that I could have a seizure in my sleep stresses me out to not sleep. So it goes on and on and on.
I wake up and I already want a nap, and then I'm like, well, I ate something, so it's time for a nap, and then.
Yeah, like, do people really think I want to waste my life in my 30s now away sleeping? Most people are doing something else, and it's like, yeah, I love sleeping, but
now that we're in quarantine, maybe people will be sleeping more, and we'll
we can all live stream. We can all live stream in the middle of the night, like join the massive slumber party. Like,
Instagram Live, what's up?
I know. And I know a lot of people struggle with getting their sleep. This is one of the reasons I smoke weed, to knock my ass out, because I also have something called borderline personality disorder, and that basically means I am the most irrational fucking person you will ever meet due to emotions, because I play on everything with emotions, but my brain is active 24/7. I think about everything in cycles, constantly overthinking, and that gives me seizures too, so I shut it off with weed. I'll get into the BP in another post, but yeah, that affects my sleep. So I also do yoga, as cliche as that is. I stop playing with my phone. I read. I put on, serial killer documentaries. For some reason, that's comforting to fall asleep to. The sound of Charlie Manson, starting a cult. I don't know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I also fall asleep to Forensic Files. I love. Also, there are times when I'm in the mood for a comedy, so I'll watch The Office for the 19 millionth time.
Yeah.
I color. I have coloring books that I'll do sometimes.
I have a coloring app.
I have a coloring app too.
Coloring app. I have. There's something I want to mention, because my doctor sent it to me also, to put you to sleep and to exercise everyone's brain. They are free, and they are apps, and they are called Brain Test and Brain Out. And every level is a different brain test to get you to think different ways. So some's math, some's reading, some's solving puzzles, blah, blah, blah. So that's something that'll exhaust you because it works your brain and put you to sleep. So that's something to look into. And then there's, music, there's essential oils, and yes, some may cause seizures for some people, but shut up. Not everybody. Okay. Like, when I speak, it is not directed at, some things are individualized. That, this is not a mass umbrella to help everybody. Because I don't do all of this that I'm talking about. I just want to be clear before she and I got yelled at. So,
we're based on our own experiences. Our experiences are completely different from each other's and from all of yours. So.
Yeah. And it's,
even people with the same types of seizures experience things completely different.
Yeah, and this is just things to possibly run by your doctor if it piques your interest or like it may fit into your life. But let's see, different treatments.
We've kind of covered those.
Huh? Do we
We
cover
did
the
medication, and then you did your you talked about
I have the
weed.
brain surgery. Yeah, I did the RNS. Never done keto. Still on meds. Got the RNS, which came after the in-depth electrode study. It was about a year and a half to get to the point where I'm at now, with all the tests and stuff. Took 10 years to get to that point though, but yeah, it's worth it. It's scary. It's not in your control, but I'd rather have this in my head controlling it slightly rather than having my seizures run wild like fucking Stampede. So, yeah, it was worth every moment, every hour I spent in the hospital, every stupid test I endured, every psychiatrist I saw. I just bit my tongue. Awesome. It's worth it. Happens a lot. Yeah, it's worth it. If you're considering surgery, I would 100% look into it really in-depthly because it's worth it. And they're going to advance surgery, as time goes on. We're in an awesome age of medicine and technology where, we're not going to get burned at the stake. Let's just put it that way. Anymore. So,
yeah. You can have surgery depending on what causes your seizures, and you can't. Like, I can't have surgery, but, there are other things I can ask my doctor about, like, diet. Like, I'm not on the keto diet, but there might be other things, like she's recommended less carbs. That doesn't happen.
No.
But
That's
it's something that she recommends. Not for me, thank you. And then I also do acupressure to help with my anxiety and my stress.
Yeah,
and
I think I talked about this already, but I do have a neuropsychiatrist that works hand in hand with my neurosurgeon and my epileptology team. So they all are in on treatment. It's not just taking meds. I want you guys to realize that epilepsy management is not just about medication. It's about mental health. It's about lifestyle, all that, fun crap that goes into it.
Not just popping pills or
smoking weed.
Yeah.
It's not that, and it's not just twitching. So, if you're, the ones that are just managing your seizures, you're just as bad as everyone else that's saying epilepsy is just seizures. So, just saying.
And then living alone. So I do not live alone. I just graduated college. I teach online. I teach kids online. And almost all of them are surprised when they see that I have a degree and I still live at home. Don't drive. The thought of living alone, in some ways I'm sad that I can't do it. Like, I'm like, look at all of my friends who are off living in their apartments downtown and, doing all this. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, if I lived alone and I burned my hand on the stove during a seizure and he was there to help me, what's going to happen? I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
Uber is expensive.
Basically, like, I live with my mom, brother, and sister until I get married. So, it's a lot to swallow because like I said, I'm 30. I have dual master's degrees. I'm about to go back for my doctorates, and I still live in the same four walls I lived in when I was 6 years old. So it's changed a little. No fire trucks on the wall, but I'm sick of these four walls quite often. But at the same time, I feel personally like I've lost a lot of the know-how on how to adult. There's certain things I just don't know how the hell to do. I don't know how to pay bills, really. I don't know how to apply for mortgages. I don't know how to do loans. I don't know how to take care of my lawn. Like, yeah, I've kind of been spoiled in that way, but there's certain things I go out into the world and I'm like, shit, what do I do? Because I haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, and it's like, not being able to drive, you say like, oh, I can't drive, and the first thing people think of is like, oh, you have a
DUI. Yeah, it's like, no, I didn't have that fun. I just had a seizure.
Yeah.
Like,
I never
no.
even got to have my driver's permit, you
No,
know.
and on that note that you can't live alone, there is a thing, at least in California, I know it's called HUD, HUD.gov.gov, and it is something that will help assist you in finding housing if you're disabled. It's basically the same as Section 8, which is a federal program to help you find housing, pay for rent, supplement your income. That you should look into for all the people that are veterans. Go through the VA. I know they're very slow, and I'm sorry, but try there, then go to disability, all that stuff. There are ways to get housing and live alone. I have friends that do it, but that's their situation because they feel comfortable that they can. Me, F no. So I almost slipped, but no.
Not only that,
um,
but it's also, not being able to really work hours. I had a full-time job that I had to stop because of my health. And
I even had to just stop a part-time job. I couldn't even do stupid retail because I was having too many seizures. So I couldn't, work at friggin' Old Navy like when I was working at it. I had to quit. I had to turn in my resignation, and the day I did turn in my resignation, I had a seizure in the floor on the break room and hit the deck with my face. That's not when I lost my teeth. That was a different one. But so that was kind of like when they were like, "Oh yeah, you really, really are going through some stuff right now." I'm like, yeah, I am, and I haven't been back to work. I'm kind of trying to work from home, but at the same time, I'm more so recovering from brain surgery because I care more about that.
yeah, always put your health first, I'd say. And don't take that as like, if your health is bad, like, don't just focus on that and not work at all. Because, like, work is important, and that I'm working part-time from home now. I think we're all going to be working from home soon.
I know. Better get your online jobs before the healthy people eat them up. I'm just saying. Um,
But health is definitely something to consider. Don't put yourself and push yourself through something that's not good for
yeah,
your health. I was having seizures every other day and migraines every day for 2 weeks straight, trying to keep a job that, in the end didn't really care when I left. And
no, and it's like the same thing with the dating and stuff, like having to not live alone. Yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of like, why the hell do you still live at home when you're 30? But it's like, okay, I know people that are 35 and don't have a disability and they can't make ends meet either. So that's the
right.
time we're leaving. So, you also have that on top of the plate besides the economy and now a pandemic. So, um, that's about it. I mean, yeah, I think that's about it. I don't know what else. I know being at home sucks. It's boring, but welcome to the age of the internet. You can find stuff, spend hours on there, you'll find it. I'll send you some YouTube channels. I find the weirdest stuff. Like so, there's stuff to do. There's all of us too out there that we can look at. She and I have been on for 6 hours, 7 hours now.
Close to 7, I think.
Yeah, so I mean,
It feels like 2. I don't.
I know. It's because I don't remember half of the day because of my seizure brain, but
Half the
but yeah,
conversation, I think, was
that's yeah, that's about it. I mean, if you want to go into in depth specifically about these topics, like down the line of cooking alone, sleeping alone, blah blah blah, we can do that. But that's about it. Oh, another thing about living alone, I don't want to shower by myself. I don't want to drown.
I don't shower when I'm home alone either.
No, I don't either. I don't. I do not take baths at all either. I do not. I miss them
We
like
hot
crazy.
tub, and we got rid of that. I have a pool, and I don't swim alone ever.
I don't
Um,
either.
you're 15 times more likely to drown if you have
Mhm.
a seizure, so keep that in mind. I mean, I don't necessarily have grand malls, but you never know if you're in the shower and you slip. If you're having an absent seizure, you could hit your head on the drain. You could.
Mhm. The other day I was showering. I was home alone, and I was just standing facing the wall, washing my hair, and all of a sudden I just started to tip back and fell out of the shower, like out of nowhere. Not even locking my knees, nowhere, and I fell and hit my head on the floor. So it's like I'm probably gonna buy a shower chair. Let's go get real with it. I don't care. You know, I don't have to stand up in the shower. Less calories to burn. So whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of us need to overcome the pride that we have first. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
feel is more important than pride, and I
me
get
too.
a lot of people. I mean, especially because I was diagnosed, towards the end of high school, when all those changes are like, you're going to college and all this, and I was like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and like I'm not
Ew.
gonna let anything stand in my way. And you know what? Reality is, health is more important.
Lefty was like, ha!
I'm lucky that I was still able to graduate in 4 years. I know that I'm lucky in
I
that.
have 4 degrees. I'm lucky. I'm able to, I don't need to be pushed around in a wheelchair because my epilepsy is so bad, I guess you can say.
Yeah, but there are also, you have to take into account that there are things that you can't do, and
Yeah, and it's like
you
no
have
offense
to
to,
help.
certain people that try to be 1,000% positive all the time. I appreciate your efforts, but no. Like I'm not like I have epilepsy. I'm like, oh, fuck, I have epilepsy. It's come on, guys.
And
Let
I try not to be a Debbie Downer most of the time. I try to stay pretty positive, but there are days when it
just
sucks.
days where I hate life, everyone, epilepsy. I don't even want to look at my cat. She's adorable. So, I'm gonna be real with you guys and not sugarcoat it and be like, the poster child of, happy life with epilepsy, because I don't know if there is such a freaking thing, honestly. Like, it's a
I'd say
manageable
happy
life.
days, but I don't know if I'd consider the whole life.
No, and it's got happy parts to it, and but it's like if you were happy, you wouldn't have to treat it. Let's put it that way.
All right,
So, yeah,
you
I think
good?
we've rambled on this one enough. So, yeah, we'll end it with that. If you want us to do any more, we're always on our phones, so we'll just put it that
Pretty
way.
much.
So, the end of that one. Thanks for listening to this entire series. All right, talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.